So we finally got a new camera, right, and so we can do cool things like this. If you watch how the focus changes on my face in the car, right, like... Yeah. So I realized that a lot of people are, well, bloody stupid, so I have to have a disclaimer, right? This video is just for entertainment only, right? A lot of this, all of this is not really... Don't take this shit seriously, right? Baby, turn me up loud. Speakers coming loud, something like it will. Some people are fucking stupid. And my walk guy happens to be one of those people, right? He's saying, oh, you need new brakes. It's like less than 0.5 millimeter on it. And at first, right, I thought he was joking. You know, like 0.5 millimeter is a lot, right? Like a girl would be satisfied by 0.5 millimeter. My point is, and what I have to explain to some idiots, is that brakes are pointless, right? When's the last time you slammed on the brakes? You'd say, oh, what if some kid walks out in front of the car? So what if some kid walks out in front of the car? That fucking happened to me last week. So basically, right, I'm driving down the street, it's a 50 zone, I'm doing maybe 130. And so this little fucking shit walks out. And you know, he's maybe 1 year old, maybe 2 years old, I don't know. It doesn't really matter, because as you'll find out, he's a fucking moron. Bruh. So you know, he's like 300 meters away, so I'm fucking flipping it off, mate, get out of the way. Get the fuck out of the way! Basically what happens next is I flatten him, right? So get out of the car, right? Go off to the front, little fucking shit. What the fuck do you just do, right? I'm going to McDonald's to see Sandra fucking bang her in the Macca's bathroom. I would pick her up, but you know, she's a bit fucking on the larger side. I don't think the car would move with that much weight in it. So yeah, I'm trying to explain that to a little fucking shit. And the worst part is he doesn't even say sorry or anything, right? He's just lying there on the ground, not saying anything. And his parents come out, oh, you killed my kid. Bitch, I didn't do shit. So we're gonna call the cops on you. On me. You'll call the cops on me. What do you gotta tell them, right? That your kid was coming out on the road and it saw a bright red, loud as hell car with some guy flipping him off. Of course he saw it, right? He saw a car coming towards him and he decided to stay on the street. You don't need brakes, that's what I'm trying to say. No one really cares about brakes, right? You know, people ask you, what's your quarter-mile time? What's your 0 to 100 time? But no one's ever asked you what your 100 to 0 time is, right? You're not gonna go up to some guy with a Golf, and you know, he's not gonna say, oh, my 0 to 100 times 8 seconds, but my brakes are really good. Cool car, bro. Yeah, fuck. Get fucked. And people say, oh, no brakes are important. It's all just like this big scam that's been set up by big companies to sell you useless shit, right? Like you'll have people selling you a big brake hits. Use your fucking brain for some second, right? Bigger brakes are heavier, obviously, and a heavier car slows down slower. If someone can explain that to me, and I've got something in this car that will stop me quicker than any big brake hit will ever do. So let's say we're driving down the motorway in 6th gear. What it's called is you jam that bitch in first. That bitch will stop on a dime. It's kind of weird to think, you know, cars have 5 pedals and 3 of them are useless. Right, you don't need your clutch, you just change gears without it, you know, like, that makes no sense. So you got to go out and buy a big turbo to make you go fast, and then brakes to slow you down. So unfortunately, right, government is not as smart as I am, so I actually do have to have brakes in order to drive the car on the road. So I have to replace them, so I shall show you that now, because I know you won't know how to, because you're a fucking idiot. Anyways, so obviously the first step is to take your wheels off and jack up your car. If you don't know how to do that, you're a fucking idiot. Like, I could show you doing it now, or I'll just show you a generic video of me jacking up my car and probably taking the front wheels off, not the back. Jack up your car, mate.
Nope.
Already pretty annoyed, eh? Like, look at that. There's plenty of life on that, right? At least 0.5 millimeter. anyways, this is what's going in. B&T C+ pads. Apparently they're meant to be like the best. Not that you need good brakes, it's just because you're not poor, so might as well just get these. You got these pads here. It does not matter what side the clip's on, so like don't even worry about it. You know, if it's making a noise, they're just your brakes. Like, so it's got this like synthetic lubricant. You don't need that. You don't need that. Like, looking at it, right, people say you have to compress the piston in. You don't need to do that. Like, their thinking is that since the new pad's thicker, then it needs more space, but actually doesn't, because like jam it in, like just drive around like normal, it'll just wear it down so it's thin enough. And so first of all, there's two like covers here that you have to pull off with your hands, and then the second thing you have to do is in here there is a 7mm hex bit, right? But then you read online and people say, oh, a T45 will work. One of them is here and one of them is here. Once you're like at that stage, you can get a screwdriver there and just push it. And after you do that, there is also like this little metal thing here that you pull out, and that'll just come off afterwards. Look how much life that's still got in it. I gotta feed this shit to like kids in Africa or something, but instead I'm fucking having to replace it. What the fuck? That's good for another like what? 80,000 Ks? Jesus Christ, man. Next step is we have to retract the cylinder. Okay, so you get something like I have got these things, right? And basically, you gotta put the tips in those two holes and then push down and turn clockwise. The easiest way to do this is if you get someone to hold the caliper still, and this is the setup I've got. Push down as hard as you can with one hand and just twist with the other. After that's all done, obviously you just put the new pads in where they went before. Bit of this shit on like where it slides. You see this part here, along where that slides. Then just put it back together. In reality, it hasn't really made a difference at all because I don't use my brakes. So one good thing that actually did happen by doing the brakes, and that is, let's say if we put the handbrake on, right, and then we start to drive, the car still drives perfectly fine. Like, if you agree to me, like someone should start a petition and we can push it to government so, you know, cars don't need brakes and all that. If you don't agree with me, you're wrong. Follow me on Instagram.